Hello, everyone. Welcome to Behind the Scenes podcast with me, Sara Marie. The Alchemists process. Today, we're going to talk about the thyroid. We're going to deep dive into my journey a little bit. We're going to look under the hood and see, what have I done to get here? So before we get to that, there's going to be a little bit of new people watching. So I need to introduce myself a little bit and my work, because my friend Duran, he posted a video a couple of days ago on his Instagram. He's also a bodyworker. He's very knowledgeable. He's a very interesting character. And he posted a video on his Instagram sharing a little bit, he didn't have an intention behind it. He wasn't selling anything. He was just sharing, just talking about how he helped his wife to heal her thyroid naturally through a herbal blend that he put together, or someone that he worked with. And this post went viral. And I happened to comment on it before it went viral, or just early. And I just said, hey, I also healed my hypothyroidism naturally. Yay. And then I started to receive messages and questions and comments. So this was a big topic, and his post blew up. And so I reached out to him and asked him, how about you and I sit down and talk about this? Because this seems to be something that a lot of people are interested in, and that a lot of people are looking for solutions for, because the hypothyroidism is it's a very strange thing to have, because it's very difficult to define, and the symptoms are very broad and very different in people. And the type of, it's difficult to find a doctor that, listens to you and kind of feel in and allow these, especially when there's a lot of women having these issues. And there's just a lot going on with us emotionally. And we have a large inside world, we're magical beings. So we're supposed to have that. So defining the thyroid issues can be very difficult, and finding someone to actually, who listens to you. So I knew that this topic would be interesting, and he agreed. So we have recorded that session already. So I'm going to put together a series of 3 videos. This video where I share my personal journey and how I view it, and what I've learned, almost a decade after I healed it, because that was the first thing that I addressed on my journey. And I've learned so much more now. And I view it very differently from what I did then. So I will share from my perspective. Then we have mine and Duran's perspective. And then I'm also, on Monday, I'm going to record a video interviewing Simba about it, and go deeper into the actual, because I come from energetics. Duran comes from his point of view. But Simba, he comes from the body. He's super knowledgeable about the body. So with him, I can start to dive in deeper to what is actually happening in the body on an energetic level from a natural perspective. And these 3 together, and I'm also going to put together all the information as a compilation. In all my programs, I started to provide text support, like session companions. And I will do that for this as well. So that's going to be quite comprehensive. It's because I feel like that is a big part of what I'm doing, sharing my journey and sharing my findings. But I'm also responding to when there's a need. I'm not just going to share just for sharing. That is, I create. So now there's a demand for that. So I will provide that. So there will be quite a comprehensive compilation about this so it's like mine and Simba's, standpoint on what we believe about the body, what we've learned from all these years, and what we've learned and noticed when we heal other people. And that's just knowledge. So hypothyroidism. So my family, the women in my family have hypothyroidism. So there were people in my family that started to tell me, like, you have hypothyroidism, before I even knew what it was. So, and it took many years before I even, went to see a doctor, because I was not in health was not my priority back then, to say the least. But then I started to have an eye problem. So if you have thyroid issues, you know that they are connected to the eyes. If you follow my 108 days, then, or if you follow me, if you know what I'm doing, then you can see the connection here, because I'm going deep into the eyes in the 108 days, because there's so much tension around the eyes and so much identity and nervous system in the eyes. And now people are starting to ask more, deeper questions. I'm not the anatomy person. Simba is the anatomy person. I'm the energy person. So I just know how it feels, and I pick up things, and I study in a completely different way than him. So when people start to have the anatomy questions, then I need to bring him in. And that's also why, we're doing it together. Side note. So I had some issues with the eyes. I went to the doctor. They sent me to do thyroid tests. And there you go. I had thyroid imbalance. So I have a low thyroid, which is the underfunction. So that is because the body is slowing down, because it needs to protect itself. So if I look back at my life, I was burning my fuel way too fast. I was on a path that was not very good for my body. So then my body shuts it down, so it will, slow down and not spend all the life force. So we have some for, the rest. And I was living with this for many years so I was diagnosed at some point in my 20s, and I left Sweden when I was 39. So I was on that medication for a very long time. And I found a doctor who was very liberal. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I'm not going to judge. That's just how it was. He allowed me to decide my own dose, because my energy levels was so low. So low. That was one of the biggest issues that I had. I had zero energy. Sometimes I had to go home from work to nap over lunch break just to make it through the day. That was just like, that took all my energy. And then I also, I was pushing a lot. I also had pain everywhere in my body, headaches out of this world. I had a lot of bladder issues, a lot of kidney issues. Now I know I had a lot of anger issues. I was carrying a lot of masculine energy. If you see that I look away more during this episode, I'm usually kind of locked in. If I'm not practicing, then I'm kind of talking to myself. But I'm looking in my memories, because I don't remember everything anymore, because my thing was not to fix my thyroid. My thing was to fix my life, period. There was something deeply misaligned with my whole existence. So this is where the standpoint that I want to take this conversation, because a lot of people that are going to sign up for this, unfortunately, are going to look for a quick fix and a quick solutions. And for some people, that is available. So I'm not saying that they don't exist. Some people find their thing and they just fix it. Miracle season is available. Miracles are available. For me, that was not the case. I had a different purpose. So I'm attracting people who are on a similar journey as me. So there's going to be two paths in this conversation. I'm going to invite you to be able to hold both. So the people who are here and just think that, who is this lady who is talking about energy and weird things? Allow that to be true and hold that. And then just listen to my story, listen to the things, and then make an opinion. Because I'm not going to tell you what to do. What I believe is that you have a journey to find your solution. And because you're here, you're going to find one piece of the puzzle, at least, from this conversation. There's going to be something here that says, aha, that's going to help you. And that's how healing works. Most of the time, we don't find this, and then it fits right here, and then everything unlocks. Even though that's how it is in the movies. That's even how it is in the documentaries that's called sci-fi. For some people, that is the miracle. For some people that works. Most people know. Because, and this is also what, okay, let me come back to that. So hold that and look for the gold for you. So there's something, and it might be unexpected in a way that you didn't think that would happen. So where I come from, and you will also learn when you watch the episode with Duran, is that we come from the same standpoint, that we treat the body as a whole unit in differentiation from the medical system that treats ears separately, eyes separately, thyroid separately. It's all scattered. That is not the way that I believe it works. And I'm not going to go into any discussion about, big pharma or any of that. That's not who I am. I'm not here to argue or discuss. I share my experience and the things that I learned that works. And I allow people the freedom to do whatever they want with that. So that is my invitation for anyone who's watching, that you do whatever you want to do with this. I invite you to be open. That's it. So I treat the body as a whole. And when I left my home country when I was 39, so that's almost 10 years ago, I'm turning 49 in a month or something. Who knows? Not too attached to that. My life absolutely fell apart, and I could have been very bitter about that, but instead I knew deep inside of me that I had another path, that there was something else available for me. So my journey is way bigger than the thyroid. The thyroid was just the gateway to the multidimensional detox that I'm now mastering, I have to say. Wow, I'm speaking truth and body reacts. I'm currently open up the deepest layers in the root, and then something opens up in my voice. So this is what the alchemist's process is about. It's my process when I alchemize whatever is not mine, whatever is an imprint, whatever is what I've inherited from my, beloved family and ancestors. I'm realizing that this level of freedom that I'm achieving right now has not been available for anyone in my bloodline. That is just not what I come from in this lifetime, in this body. So because I also had I was burning myself in both ends from a very young age. I've had many years of drugs and alcohol, many years of a lot of sexual promiscuity. And I mean, it was just a lot of let's say like this. I've been hanging out with the shadow for many years. I know that. I know that one. So that was my school. I learned. I could look back on that and be bitter. I'm not. I see that as a gift. Then after about 10, 15 years of heavy misuse of this body, I went back to school and I started studying marketing, and I just shifted like that. And I had a very nice career, and I just changed my whole life completely around and had the success and had a fantastic relationship, and I had a lot, but my health did not. I had enormously high stress levels in my body, and my body was running on absolute fumes. So and then life started to spit me out. So thing after thing started to fall apart, and I started to feel more and more trapped in my whole body, in my whole being. And the trappedness is the nervous system freeze response. So the level of freeze that I've had in my body is enormous. I've had a lot of armor to kind of work through to get to this point. So my relationship ended. I got fired, which was, I mean, my career that was a big thing for me, that whole thing, because I invested my soul in that. So that was a that was a massive accelerator for me, which was great. And what else happened? Yeah, my health, and I just spiraled, I think. And it was just time. It was just, and I've always been traveling to Thailand. I had very deep connections here, and this was the place that I needed to go. So I packed a carry-on bag. I was supposed to come here for 3 months, but I'm still here. I've been home a couple of times. But so I moved to the jungle. So I moved from, I gave away 25 boxes of designer clothes and bags and shoes. And, I just called one of these organizations, and they picked everything up. And, I ended up owning 2 suitcases and moved here finally. And I moved out to the countryside in northern Chiang Mai, northern Thailand, outside of Chiang Mai in the jungle. And I just went off grid, basically, and started to disconnect from whatever I've been taught and started to connect with myself. So the first year, I posted a little bit on Instagram. I kept my Instagram as it is, so you can see, how it all began. So for a year, I was living with a shaman in the jungle, and I was just purging myself. And I almost instantly started to detox my system. So when we say that healing is a full body system thing, that means, and we made this analogy, or this reference, me and Duran, and we can stick with that for simplicity. And it's like you have a pond that is clogging and that it becomes stagnant. When the body and the chi and the energy and the flow in the different organs become stagnant, they start to deteriorate. And that's how we start to get sick and get diseases. And my situation was not good. It was absolutely not good. And I don't think that I realized back then how much effort it would take to find my way out. Because that's what I did. I mean, I come from a Western atheist suburb. I mean, I did not grow up in nature. I didn't have any nature connection. I didn't have any God connection. And I was not presented with what I know now at all in my life. And there was no one there to tell me exactly what to do. So this was a very much trial and error experience. And I met my husband very early after I left. We knew each other from before. He's very much into this. That's why he's absolutely phenomenal at healing the body. So he's helped me a lot. We kind of learned and healed together over the years. But lost my train of thought. I went up to my head. When I stay in the body, it just flows. As soon as I start to think, then it just doesn't work anymore. So that's a tip, hot tip. Now, so we started to detox the system and start to learn about this together. So we create what we started to do, and that we have continued to do, and that is our strength, is that we build environments. We build healing environments. So very early on, I decided that we are going to build one environment. We're not going to have a business and a home, because then we have to build two energies, and I don't have that capacity. So we have to build one environment. And if people want to come to us, they have to come to us. And that's also what happened. So we started to build a retreat center where people moved in with us, because all we did, everything inside of everything that we had, because we started from nothing. We came with, we didn't know. So we just created, and we started to create an environment. And we started to work with the nervous system very, very early on. We realized that. So very early on, we started to train. Simba was the one who really honed in on that straight away. He knew exactly, he had a crazy calling for the TRE that is now Internal Alchemy, that is the neurogenic tremors. So the combination of healing the nervous system and detoxing the system, yeah, that's what the thing was. The pond, the internal system, you can look at it as, we are basically water. So it is actually true. And if we keep putting in things that the body can't alchemize, that it can't process, that it can't digest, and this is where the Western and the Oriental differs, because in the West, there's only the physical body. In the Oriental, there's multiple bodies. And then you realize that you have to heal all of them to unlock the physical body. That is the point. That is the key. And when your digestive fire, your ability to alchemize, because being alive is stressful. That is the case. It's a stress to live. And when we put in, we can call it toxins, because everything we put in is a toxin, and the body extracts and utilizes and creates nutrients from that. If we are not feeding the body what it needs, and we are not moving correctly, and we are having bad thoughts and bad emotions, and we are kind of weighing down from the world, the atmosphere, the environment in the body starts to get sour. So the pond starts to get sour, and that's how we become sick. We have to clean that pond. So I started cleaning that pond, and I started to do that with juice fasting. So this is the first, so I didn't have any of these trainings or any of that. Simba had tons already. So I felt behind, and that's also why I've been hiding behind him all of these years, and behind the things that I was good at, and whatever. So the first thing that I became was a detoxification specialist. within cellular regeneration. So I studied, first I practiced for years and I started to heal the body, but I didn't focus only on the thyroid. And that is where this is not a quick fix, because if that would have been the case, I might have been doing things differently and it would have gone quicker. However, I was focusing on the whole environment. So I had to clean out my kidneys, I had to clean out the liver, I had to, get my lymphatic system going. I had to, I had so much fear. I had so much fear in the bladder and so much fear in the kidneys. So I started juicing and detoxing. So the cellular regenerative detoxification process is about activating. So everything about internal alchemy and what Simba and I are doing is to activate the body's self-healing mechanisms by itself. And that is the process that we have absolutely, refined over almost a decade, and where we have been the primary customer all these years. And then we have been living with people who have been going through very deep cleanses and processes over the years. And people have been staying with us from 1 week up to 2 years. So the longest is 2 years. And then we had 13 months, 12 months, 11 months, 10 months, 9 months, 7 months, 5 months, 6 months, everything in between. So we've been fully immersed in this. What happened was that as the process, and this is the good thing with this, my liberal doctor, because he said to me because I came to him every year and I took all these tests. So every year I came to him and it was just page after page after page after page after page with test results. And he would sit and explain them all. He was fantastic. He explained them all, and everything that was unbalanced, I got a prescription of something. So I had these pill boxes they were full. Every day I took like this. And what he did was, because my energy levels were so low and I was just hunting this energy. And the medication was, okay, if I take a little bit more medication, I get more energy, because that's, the body starts to produce a lot more. The thing is, he said that he told me that I could choose my own dose, which sounds absolutely, ridiculous. However, he was very clear and he could see that I was intelligent. We had a very, very, very good conversation, or a relationship. And I was there to feel good. So he educated me, and because the hypothyroidism is the low functioning of the thyroid, the hyper is the over functioning of the thyroid, which is just another, it's just, okay, this is my take on it. It's just a reaction from the body. It could either, some people go low, some people go high, but it's a reaction of the same problem. It's the same thing as from my stress. I went to absolute adrenaline shock for 6 months. I was in full adrenaline. That's how bad my stress went. So I went into overdrive. And that's the same for the thyroid. It goes into overdrive. So when you eat the medication that I was given, if you eat too much, it turns into the hyper. And that is awful. And he said that you're going to know. If you take too much, you will know. So he already knew that there was a barrier, because he knew me, that I would not cross. And that was true. Because that was when I started to heal my body and I started to build this environment, and I left a lot of the things back home that intense stress that I was under, and I started to work with the nervous system and cleaning the pond. So I worked with the nervous system. I built the environment, and I started to juice and raw food and detox. And I also did a lot of the herbs that that my teacher was. They have, I think he sold the herbal company now, but they were producing. He's from Florida. They were producing very, very high, super potent herbs that was moving the lymphatic system. I was purging. So as I was doing this, and we started the company, and we, started to host these retreats and started to work with people, we were detoxing like crazy during this time. So we were doing this parallel work, and there was just no room for anything else. Once in a while, I would start to feel really, really, really bad, like really bad. And I started to have these fears and this stress and this, it's like I couldn't calm down, and I was like, what is this? Every time, it took me about 3 weeks to remember the thyroid medication. It's the hyperthyroidism. So I lowered my medication, and then it went away almost instantly. And then, months passed, and then that would happen again. It would take a couple of weeks, and I would like, what is wrong with me? And then I go, oh, lower the medication, come back, continue. And that's how I had a quite high dose. So it took me a while, but all of a sudden that was gone. I was not on any medication. The thing was that at the end, so maybe about less than 1 month, 1 year before I left Sweden, my energy level started to become really bad. So I went back to my doctor, and he said, we can't, if you reach the roof of the medication, he was like, oh, well, maybe there's one thing we could do, he said. And I was like, what was that? And he said, yeah, there's a steroid that you could take. And for some reason, I said yes to that. And he said that if you get breast cancer, you have to stop taking them. And I was like, that's okay. But there was something inside of me that just had to have something. So I started taking them, and I think it took less than 24 hours. And I woke up with, I woke up as a new person. That was incredible. It was a night and day shift. I woke up, I remember it still. I put my feet on the floor, and I stood up, and I was like, wow, this is different. Because I've always had, so this is one of the things that's been driving me since as long as I can remember. I've had a feeling, I've had a voice that's been saying, you're not supposed to feel this bad. This is not normal. When I look around, I don't think that they feel like I do. I don't think so. They seem to do much better. I now know that everyone thinks like that. But I was right. Because when I felt that, I was like, I knew it. This is possible. So what that gave, and I also realized, wow, this is not good. There's a price for this. I knew that instantly. There's a price for this. This is too good. Too good. There's a price for this. But I still took them for about a year. And there was just something in my body. I just had to relax in that. I just had to just feel like a normal person. And now I know that I could model that. I had what used to be a memory, a distant memory, like a dream, like a calling inside, that I know that this, I know. And Simba, he's like, you've been obsessed about that. Yes. He said, that's a trauma. No. I always thought there was a trauma. Now I know. No. That was my knowing, because I know that now, because I'm there now. And way beyond. So what I did during those months, it wasn't even a year, because it didn't take long before my body was like, this is not good. We just can't do this. My period went away. I started to get lumps in my breast, and I just, this is just not, we can't do this. So I stopped, and then I moved here, and it didn't take long after I was off the medication where I started to build myself up to an energetic level that already, what do you call it? More, better, something than I felt on the steroids. So that was also something that I could come back to fairly quickly. Okay, it took a couple of years, but I mean, I didn't know what to do, so I had to search and find, and that's why the people that we are working with now are having extraordinary processes. So when we meet the right people, then something happens and we just unlock. And the body wants to restore itself to its natural state. So what I have been dedicating my last 10 years to is to dig myself out of the hole that I managed to create for myself, with a little bit of help from karma, I think, and soul purpose. And I'm a very strong believer that I had the perfect challenges for me to become who I am now, because the reward on the other side for not only focusing on one thing and fixing that and then returning to the lifestyle that made me sick in the first place, I did a complete 180. And because of that, I have found everything else that I also was missing when I left. The relationship with myself. I mean, it's just, the big thing for me has been the physical, because I was in such a bad shape, my body was not doing well. The level of freeze that I'm coming out of, and the level of armor and the emotional protection and the masculine protection that I've been carrying, that was, not taking me into a good place. So because of my intention to deal with all those things, I also receive all of those things. And it took me a bit of time, but for me, there was no other way. There was just there was nothing else I could do. My whole being was just set on that. So now I realize, okay, I'm supposed to walk this path, do this path, show this path, talk about this path, and allow anyone who feels attracted to this type of work, because there's so many ways of healing. There is no right or wrong way. There are multiple truths, and there's multiple ways, and there's as many ways as levels that we all choose for ourselves. So there's something inside of you that is calling you to something. And when I speak, when I share my process, my story, when I share authentically, you will know if this resonates with you or not. And I trust your body, your feeling, that you know if there's something that you want more of or less. So just follow your absolute intuition, because if I'm not the person for you, you have to go look for the person for you. And I looked at many people and I stayed for a bit and like, oh, okay, and we tried all the different things. So here in Chiang Mai is the northern Thailand, is nothing like the rest of Thailand. It's nothing like the Thailand that you know. The northern Thailand is just mountains. And there's no ocean, so there's no tourists, there's no beach, there's none of that. Up here there's the core here is spirituality. Chiang Mai is the second biggest city in Thailand, which most people don't even know because everyone's down south. And it's built around a meditation center. So most people connect Thailand with Buddhism. What most people don't know is that there's mostly Muslims in Thailand, and they live down south. Up north, from Bangkok and up north, is mostly Buddhists. So Chiang Mai is created around a Buddhist meditation center. And then another came, and then another came. So now we have 400 temples in the region, and it's a fairly small city, and it's a healing vortex. The level of yin energy here is so high. It's so high. It's like velvet for the nervous system to just be here. And the intention, and there's such a strong culture here around healing, and it's fantastic. It's very, very, very special. And this attracts any type of healer on the planet that you can think of. And we're also in Asia, so we have access to the Orient and all the alternative teachings. So here we started to just try everything. And the things that had a life-changing effect on us, we became certified in. So I've been, studying so many things over the years. So first I had 2 years where I did nothing. No, 1 year when I did nothing. I didn't take in anything. I was kind of deprogramming myself to find my own voice, to find my own, because I was just consuming other people's opinions as my own truths. And that doesn't work. So I had to find my own voice first. Like, what is me? What do I like? My intuition. And then I started to learn all of these different modalities. And then we have been implementing them on a very, very deep level, with a very deep level of devotion. And we started to learn the whole system. And piece by piece, we release. I mean, I wasn't able to hold my emotions. I wasn't able to have deep and open conversations, like 100%. I wasn't able to be vulnerable. There was just so many things that was holding me back. And now, becoming this person that I understand that I'm meant to be, I put myself in situations so that I can grow, so that I can become the person that I'm supposed to be, so that I can serve from a place of 100% authenticity. And during this process, from the atheist that I was, I found God. And I found a connection to creation, and the level of connection that we can have to life is beyond what we have ever experienced in our systems. So I know that there is something beyond what I'm experiencing right now, and that is my driving force. What else am I going to do with this life? Watch Netflix and play pool? I've done that. That didn't do it for me. This does it for me, because the feeling inside is priceless and it's permanent. All of a sudden, like that, 10 years are worth it. So as you notice, I don't have a lot of details to give you about what exact transformed inside of me. What I did was to activate the healing mechanisms of my body, the cellular regeneration, so the body kind of picks itself together. And, if you cut yourself, it heals. The body works like that everywhere. That's not the skin only. That's every organ. That's all the tissue in the body. So if the body is healing itself from a cut, and I don't do anything but put a Band-Aid on it and make sure, there's no bacteria in it, the body takes care of that by itself. So if I provide my body with the circumstances that it needs, then that happens on a cellular level. When I start to remove whatever there's a balance. I had to remove the things that was making myself sick, and then I had to clean the pond and turn the thing on again. And that's individual for everyone, exactly what to do. But my gift is, if you put yourself in front of me, I will tell you for sure what's going on, why you are like that, because that's my gift. Energy and alchemy is the gift that I possess just from being who I am. And that is the process that I offer, is for those who want to find their 100% authentic selves. So that's way beyond the thyroid. But the thyroid plays a significant part because it's trying to keep you alive. So when we start to work with the body and we start to listen and pay attention, everything, the body knows everything. So I help you listen and apply. And I interpret what the body is communicating and what the symptoms are showing up and how it's tied together. Because the problem is, when we start to have these issues, they get entangled with each other. And they look like each other, they dress like each other, they act like each other, they fight with each other. It's like, what is what here? What is a trauma? What is a pattern? What is people pleasing? What is nervous system? What is emotional? What is karmic? What is ancestral? What is cultural? It's all a big mess. But if you want to entangle yourself or detangle yourself from any of those, if you find yourself, it's like I have entangled myself somewhere, and the thyroid is I've entangled myself in my health. I can't find my way out. Or I'm lost in this relationship, or I'm this thing at work, or, it doesn't matter what it is. It's all a symptom of something that is unbalanced, and the body is giving an expression where the thing is not working. All the information is in that situation. And that's what I help you to do. So the way that I work is different. If you sit here and watch and you think, I like this lady, but I still just want to fix my thyroid, that's fine. I mean, I was doing good when that was balanced, but not as good as I wanted to. I had the opportunity to do more. And that is my message. There's opportunity to do more. And that invitation is here. And that is why I'm now stepping out and sharing my story and what I do and all of that. Because we know now, I don't have to hide. I don't have to, I can just speak freely about what I know. And you will know if this is for you. That's just how it works. And you will know if this is going to work for you. If you feel like it will, then it probably will. But that is free for everyone to choose. And that is why I also have these 108 days, because I want the basic information of connecting to the body and healing the body. That needs to be free for everyone. I could not find that 10 years ago. If I would have had that information then, and I can't think like that, because then I would be unnecessary, and I'm here and all the work that I put in, that was like, that's just not how it works. That's not how they wrote the script. This is the script. So I'm just super grateful for that it's possible. And I follow my intuition and my guidance, my creation to 100%. I made that decision a long time ago. And I just keep making that decision on a deeper and deeper level, because I refuse to operate from the mind. I refuse to operate from fear. I refuse to operate from illusion. I just want my truth. And I allow everyone else to have their truth. And I'm just being guided, or that's just how it just needs to be open. That level of information, that is my contribution to the world as a practitioner, as a person who is stepping in fully in this, realm of people who do these things. And I'm just going to be me 100%. That's just the deal. I'm not going to do it otherwise. I've been playing parts and roles that I no longer is willing to participate in. So that is my deal with God. I get to be 100% me. And a lot of the teachings are supposed to be free. And then working with me, that is a choice. But the information cannot be hidden. For me, that's just unacceptable. I can't do that. And that is, I'm listening to my body. My body is deeply telling me that I need to share a lot of this information. And then it's up to each and every one to make their own choice. And then people who want more support, who want to come deeper, who think that, working with me is phenomenal, then you get that choice. And then you can step deeper in with me. And that is why I call Miracle Season, because now people are finding me and having very interesting results and processes. And the best thing is that it goes quicker than it did for me, way quicker. So I've been afraid of that over the years. Like, no one's going to want to do this, because this was no fun. But it is fun, because when you start to have these positive transformations, these wins, and even though I say it's not a quick fix, for the people who are dedicated to the process, they get quick wins, because you start to see the result of your labor very quickly. And you have the results of these enormous senses of freedom inside. When that starts to feel, and you start to, okay, it's working. And then some people stop at some point, but I don't. So I'm 48. I used to think that I was old. I'm like, with what I've already done, I feel like I've been living lifetimes. And all the regret and all the things, when I used to think back of the years that I kind of wasted, and I don't look at that at all like that now. I just realized I had so much fun. I mean, it was terrible also, but most of all, I had a lot of fun. And I allowed myself to lean into that fully. And I'm so happy I did that, because otherwise I wouldn't know the things that I do now. I can see how my life is absolutely perfect. And from not feeling very good up until now, I mean, the past decade has been a constant progress of feeling better. But I haven't been, there's still been this, I know, there's a feeling, I don't know, but I know, I don't know, but I know, and I'm not quite yet there yet, and now I am. I know that, I know in my whole body, I can see it in my own eyes. I'm like, I have arrived. And then what happens now? I know that, now I gotta be of service and start working properly. Not that I haven't been working before, but so that's how I did it. There is so much more to this story, and I think that you understand that. But because I'm not living in the past or the future anymore, my memory is going away. And that's a price to pay for living in the present moment. But when the present moment is fantastic, that is not a problem. That's only a problem when you don't like the present moment. And that is also why I started to share more about my personal journey, because my level of awareness of what happens in my body is so high. A lot of people find it very interesting to listen to and follow. And that's why I'm starting this behind the scenes podcast. I'm also sharing in the 108 days. I'm also sharing on my Instagram, and I'm just going to start sharing more and more and more what I do and how I do it. And as a hermit, I've been resisting this for a very long time. Now it's time for me to surrender and just be who I am and be visible. So that's why I started to share more, because otherwise I don't remember it. And I tried to start sharing over the years, but the resistance and the nervous system just haven't been there. There's been too much self-doubt and all kinds of stuff. Been holding myself back. No more. So, miracle season is here. And I am giving away my deepest package. So during these 108 days of Internal Alchemy, that is my side project, that I hope that you know what that is by now if you're here, but maybe you don't. So I'm going live for 108 days to share my personal process of the Internal Alchemy. And that is the compilation of all this work that me and my husband has been doing for the past 10 years. Internal Alchemy is my husband Simba's own modality, and is a result of everything we've done. So I need 108 days of Internal Alchemy. So I committed to going live on YouTube for 108 days and perform a practice for you and take you on a journey, because that's what I do. I take people on journeys, that on quests, on deep dives. And my absolute favorite thing right now is to do that. So at the end of these 108 days, I'm going to give away my biggest package that is called You and I. And that is that includes, because Simba and I, we've been hosting retreats, for a decade. We still do that, and we opened up an opportunity to come and live with us again, but only for short periods of time. So we open up for 3-day retreats where we cancel everything. We have 3 days together, and we just full transmission for you. There's just sessions, body work, clearings, whatever. We just adjust 100% to you. And what happens when you step into our environment is that we can see you. We can see you. We see what you're doing. We see your patterns. We see your behaviors. And that is to your benefit, because we don't judge, because we've been there ourselves. We've been doing all the things ourselves. So when people move in with us, the long-term retreats that we used to have would be way too intense for people right now. It doesn't. So people can't live with us. It would be way too intense. So we collaborate with other retreat centers, and we host the retreats, and we come there for sessions. But the deepest one is when you move in here. So in my You and I package, Simba moves out and you move in. So it's just you and I for 3 days, and I'm just going to transmit whatever you need. So I will just start to unravel, and we would explore and go deep into whatever rabbit hole you would like. On top of that, flight not included. That's just the disclaimer. The flight's not included. And on top of that, you get 12 private sessions that you can spread out for as long period of time as you want. You also get access to every program that I offer during this time, and you get Telegram support between the sessions. And I think the Telegram support could be one of the biggest treasures in my world, where you have me in your pocket and I just detangle your life, basically. And you're just not going to be the same person after that. So I'm going to give away one of these packages. At the end of day number 108, I will give away one of these packages. So miracle season is here. If you feel drawn to me, you will probably have extraordinary results if you start working with me. And if you would do one of these, that would be fantastic. So you apply to this giveaway by letting me know that you want to apply. Then you fill in the application, because there's already an application for people who want to have this package. So you apply by filling in that application, and then nothing happens. Request is received, and I will choose someone based on the energetics of the transformation that we have together. So at the end, I will choose one person, and I will know who that person is by then. I have received applications. I should be receiving more applications. So feel welcome to apply with your application. That was not correct English. You see, the more I speak my truth and I become myself, there's something clearing in my throat that I've been trying to clear for a very long time. So you have to just excuse my alchemy symptom to process in real time. I'm also offering my one-on-one sessions for the price of $111, all during these 108 days. The price of my private sessions are going to increase significantly beyond these 108 days. So what people are doing now is that they are signing up, because you are allowed to buy a lot of sessions for that price during these 108 days, just not after. So now I have people signing up over time with me, because I also offer the Telegram support in between the sessions for free. So people have started to realize that they can create extraordinary packages with me right now for a ridiculous price. So I put myself in a position here where I might work a lot, but remember, wasn't that the intention? So I'm launching myself now fully, and this is my celebration gift to this launch party. So apart from that, my favorite thing at the moment is the masterminds. That is the group quest journey that I take a group of people on for a 4-month journey. And that is just my favorite place right now, because the transformation and the connection is the level that I've been waiting for all these years. So let's just say that. So the next mastermind, I'm currently in one. We are wrapping up the integration week this week, and then we have one more month. So I'm opening the next mastermind in August. That's it. If you feel like this is interesting, then you should try that out. I'm also offering that at a price that is just not going to be the same after, and it's $111 per month for 4 months. So the total price for the whole 4-month journey is $444. That's where I'm at. That's going to change. But it feels so right and so playful, and so it just feels so good. And I want to really offer this level of transformation and opportunity to people right now. So that's it. What time is it? An hour, but that's fine. Is there anything? Let me look at my... Yeah, I'm not against doctors or anything like that. There's just a level of... There's just something that you can do before you remove an organ, or before you radiate an organ, or before you just hyper-medicate it. There is so much about the lifestyle that you can do. But that requires you have to want that lifestyle. Because if you don't want to give up whatever makes you feel bad, then that's just an equation that I just can't. You see, I can't even talk. And that's fine. That's completely fine. Everyone does what they want. That's just not how I work. So I wanted to share my opinion and my take and my experience on the body and how to heal the body, and say that we can do that by living in harmony with ourselves and each other and the medical system. We can coexist with all the different systems. That is my absolute truth and my knowing, that we can coexist, even if we have to sometimes interact with environments that doesn't serve us, or that we don't believe in, or, we can allow everything to exist. But this is a framework that you kind of have to want to align with. And if I'm not open with what I come from and how I see the world and the level of peace that I want to come from, but I will never be... It's not peace to any price. It's peace because it's peace. I'm not gonna not speak my truth in order just to keep peace. And that's, the I'm Swedish, we're people pleasers to the bone. our whole culture is about, I mean, that's why my first business coach, I just knew she has to be an American. I need, I need the American vibe. I'm just too much jantelag. I'm not good enough. You should not be better than anyone. It's like there's just this level of holding back that is just not fun. So it's about being authentic of who you are and allowing everyone else to be the same and to coexist in peace and harmony without being afraid of standing your ground or saying no, or even having to, have a really solid, because the world is a crazy place. Just because I want peace, that doesn't mean that everyone else wants peace. So what I learn is to navigate, alchemize and navigate. That's why I'm energy alchemy. That's my thing. Okay, time to stop talking, even though I clearly is on a roll. If you have specific questions about the thyroidism, drop them as a comment in this video. When I make the whole compilation, I will bring in those questions and reply to those questions. So I'm doing this one time, and then I'm going to leave that. And then if people want to come work with healing the thyroid and beyond, that is welcome. But this is my gift of how to heal the thyroid naturally. I share my journey on Instagram. Most of my personal stuff is there. Sara Marie Spirit, links below. There's links below to everything that I've been talking about. If you want to join my 108 days, they are also here on YouTube. Is that it? That's it. That's it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're still here. And I hope to see you again. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would mean the world to me. Please drop a comment if you thought this was good stuff. And come back. Follow for more. Ciao.